Welcome to Modern Home Mastermind with beSpoke Brokers. I'm Shauna Glazier, designated broker and owner.
And I'm Brittany Williamson, associate broker. Shauna and I are beSpoke Real Estate, but we're also your guides to modern luxury across the entire state of Arizona.
Do you want to get a behind-the-scenes look at your design build team's processes? Well, open communication and teamwork will lead you to a successful project.
From architects to builders, designers, and more, let's explore the art of modern living together.
All right, are you familiar with the phrase, the devil's in the details? Well, today's guests, Kyle Ward and Mike Farley, fight that devil daily as they craft ultra-precise custom metalwork with insane attention to detail.
That's right. Just a little background. Kyle grew up in the Arizona desert and came up through construction, machining, sign fabrication, orthotics manufacturing, and even custom bicycle frame building, developing a deep understanding of materials, tolerances, and how things physically come together. Originally from Colorado, Mike studied architecture at the University of Arizona and has worked across construction, metal fabrication, architectural design, and large-scale fabrication in both New York and Arizona, blending traditional architecture with real-world building experience. Together, they formed Shape to bridge the gap between design and making, creating work where drawing, engineering, and construction all happen as one continuous process.
All right, welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the conversation. All right, let's start from the beginning. How did the two of you start working together and form Shape?
Let's see. Well, we first met back in college when I was in second year of architecture school. That was our first meeting, and then parted ways for many years, and then came back together, 5 years ago. We were at an event that, we started talking about fabrication, what we've been up to, and I moved back to Arizona, and when Kyle moved back to Arizona, we sort of struck it up again a couple years later. So,
Nice. So you're both working in fabrication separately prior to this?
Right. I was more on the traditional architecture design side of things, and then doing fabrication, sort of moonlighting with that. And then, Kyle was.
Yeah, we just crossed paths in
right.
architecture school, so I actually wasn't enrolled yet in school, and one of his friends brought me into the studio. He's always like, you should come into the studio, you would have a leg up, you make stuff, and I had a lot of building experience in different capacities, and then, so I actually brought some leftover flooring from my mom's, like bamboo flooring. Yeah, to help them with their project. So their project was like a structures project, and it was, him and Tyler had like leveled up the game where, the teacher challenged them to do like twice the work, and where everybody was suspending these blocks using tension and compression. And their project was suspending 2 blocks with compression and tension. And so I was like, let's make this out of bamboo. So we plied up a bunch of bamboo and did these, like a compression member. And
yeah, it's a pretty sweet project.
These blocks suspended. And after that, I was like, I got to enroll in school. And I enrolled in school. He was, multiple years ahead of me. I actually didn't end up finishing school. It was like, just like washed me right back out. I was like, I didn't really want to sit behind a desk, and it seemed like that's where architecture would get me. I ended up going to metallurgy school, welding and machining, and that was more hands-on. And I think craftspeople, if you craft something with someone, it's like you have a special, he has a special place in my heart forever. Yeah. And so like he has always lived with me, as like this companion, craftsman companion. Yeah. And so just through social media, kind of like stayed lightly in touch. I saw he was fabricating things. I started making custom bikes and moved to Portland. And he went to New York, so we kind of did that. Right. And it was back to Arizona kind of at the same time.
Were we talking about fabrication when I was out in New York and you were in Portland?
Not like
or was that
in the capacity to do something. It was just like, you're doing metal stuff. And I'm like, I know I'm doing metal stuff.
Yeah. So you were doing bikes. I was doing like surfboards out in New York and building metal and prototyping. And
And now you're working on custom homes.
Now we're doing
all kinds of custom.
Stuff,
Yeah. So what types of projects are you doing? We'll go through some of your projects later, but if you could just kind of give us a little background in the type of stuff that you're making for these homes.
I mean, I think we're kind of sticking in architectural, but honestly not limited to that. I've got very artistic bones. Like, sometimes I just want to get out of the architecture to be more artistic, But yeah, we're pretty much focusing on architectural stuff right now, and it's all pretty much all scales. I don't think we're shied away from anything. I'm willing and able to explore the metallurgy side of things. We've done brass, copper. We're brazing silver. We're doing
different
aluminum,
processes,
stainless. The popular
forging
cold rolled
components, and then applying machined components to forged components, and sort of cross contaminating them, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
But,
So we're exploring processes too.
yeah.
So is this for like, I know we've seen some like gates and stuff that you've done, other types of things that you do within the home, like what physically, so that people can understand what it is that you're making.
We've done lighting.
Lighting,
We've done
doors.
mirrors. We've done doors and mirrors.
Yeah. Countertops, cabinets.
Here's maybe a
pieces of
better way to
furniture.
think about it. To a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? Mm-hmm. To a metal guy, I can make anything out of metal.
Right.
That's awesome.
So, and that was my perspective when I was a woodworker. So woodworker prior, and I was like, I can make anything out of wood. I'm, steam bending to make a bicycle wheel. I've made bicycle wheels out of wood. I've made glasses out of wood. And actually, it was architecture that taught me, when you do something structurally, it's not the most efficient tensile member to be out of wood. Make it out of steel. It makes more sense. And so I was like, I got to learn steel. So I went and learned steel, down to the material science of it.
Yeah. Like I got to step up my strength level here.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So what is it about the two of you that work together so well? Like how does, staying this kind of small team, how does your partnership work? Do you do everything together? Do you take on certain projects separately? Are there certain like parts of the project that maybe one of you does more than the other?
We go through a lot of conversation at the very beginning of a project, even before we have a project. Like if we just were introduced to a project, and we'll go in depth of like how we can go through and design a component and actually manufacture it and fabricate it on through. When we actually get the project, then we will start to say, okay, now let's apply these details. Does it require both of us? Can one of us do this while we start to explore other projects and components? So within one project, there's also many things that need to be figured out. So we might just divide and conquer on one in that aspect too.
I can imagine there's a lot of, what if we tried this?
Oh my gosh.
That goes on
So much.
really
It's nonstop.
but we both have slightly different process. Like
Right.
I might take words, I might have a verbal way to put things from idea down to tangible.
Yeah.
And Mike likes to 3D model something or also
You're right.
sketch and
Just
like
sketch and 3D modeling, do a lot of upfront
Yeah.
figuring out in that manner.
and I might want to just go make something like I'm like
Right.
I'm going to mock up like how that hinge would work or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is probably great for different clients. Some clients are going to want to see the mock-up to see if they like it, and some are
Absolutely.
going to want to see it digitally.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, how do digital design tools and traditional building skills coexist with your work? I mean, we just kind of touched on that.
Yeah. I'm design forward in my process and spend a lot of time trying to iterate prior to make it a physical thing. And those designs, I mean, if you look at my 3D models, you'll see the early iteration of it and to the evolution of what it actually became, and how that correlates back to what we actually build is often kind of fantastic. And we can see, and what we'll see in a little bit, some of the things, the components that are going inside of the hinges or a handle or smaller details that you otherwise wouldn't see, you'll see in the model, and you can kind of figure out how to best assemble them in real
And make them
material
work for
to
real.
material. Yes. Yeah.
That makes sense. So who typically engages your services? Is it the client? Is it a designer? Is it an architect or builder?
A lot of our current clients are referred to us, or we're referred to them rather, by architects and designers or other GCs. Yeah. So it's kind of all over the place with that, but primarily referrals and GCs.
So the builder might be on site and thinking of a detail that the architect has drawn and not know how to do it, and reach out to you guys to come walk the site and collaborate on how to build whatever that detail is.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of what makes us unique, I feel like, is the ability to troubleshoot the problem with designers or with GCs.
Well, that's your architecture background, right?
Right. And I think it's just ingrained in us. You're right.
Are there a lot of direct clients reaching out to you, like just a homeowner that says, hey, I need Like for instance, my Flagstaff house, I need a new steel gate. Like,
Yeah,
is that
happens.
common? And do you
Yeah, that happens.
appreciate work like that?
Absolutely.
Okay, interesting. Cool. Well, I'd love to see some of your projects up here. I know we have a couple of them. And these are so cool. I want to talk about your inspiration on them too, if you don't mind.
So tell us what we're looking at here.
So this is a pool gate. It obviously has to meet certain code requirements and performance factors. So self-closing, soft closing. You know, we get approached by, you know, our clients and we need this. Like, well, can we implement a more experiential factor to it if they're open to it? And so some of the unique factors on it are like the handle itself. The handle is kind of like a motorcycle throttle, and it works on a single rotational point, but it draws in the pin. So it doesn't necessarily need to be a traditional latch system, and we refined it down to a very tight tolerance within the wall and created a pocket for it to nest.
That is the most bespoke pool gate I've ever seen.
So
That
it's,
is
so
so
it's,
custom.
it's self-closing, but it doesn't. So it's kind of a hack in a way that you didn't have to run electricity out there. Right?
Yeah, that is because it's weighted
But
like that is.
but
So
you know,
we
there's
tailored that.
there's a simple commercial solution where you just have spring hinges,
Right.
and those are.
You're not, you don't have to
You know,
want that
you
in
see 'em
your
everywhere.
Paradise
Cool.
Valley.
And
Yeah.
especially if you're a cyclist, it's 'cause it's very much
Yeah.
giving bicycle vibes here.
Yeah, you got a kinematic system. It's like so that's called a bell crank, just the little arm that pivots around that corner, and then a linkage that's connected to the gate there, and then two gears, and that's got a chain that goes over it and has a weighted
The clients must just absolutely love this.
mechanism.
Yeah.
I wonder
Yeah.
how many home tours. This is probably the only house that has a home. When the owners show their house, they show everyone their pool gate.
My husband's going to want one of these at our house.
Actually, that's a good point. When you know that transition of what you were talking about, who engages us is like gates are typically like a last minute thought. They're like establish an opening and we'll figure that out later. And it's kind of a missed opportunity if we get in earlier at the architecture level. Like there was one missed opportunity just recently where they're pouring the concrete footers and a wall is going to come into that footer, and I was like, we could have taken advantage of the the embeds to mount basically a counter mechanism inside of there, and we won't have that opportunity after it's all built, right? And so like taking advantage of the structure,
Yeah.
where we don't have to come in and re-engineer and make structure, that's a costly expense. So it's like
post-process, right?
a lot of times the earlier we can get in and troubleshoot like a problem and design around, like we're almost like a virus. Like we're gonna like attack a cell and say like this is going to be a cell that
Well, I think that's just the product of you wanting to do it the right way. You need to get in
there's
earlier.
there's an optimization process
Sure.
that
Yeah.
happens. It's kind of strived for.
All right, what are we looking at here?
So this is just a screen wall, the perforated envelope, just corrugated perforated screen wall, and we did a sliding door.
So
And
it's very hidden.
Actually, yeah, from the other side though,
Yeah.
it's not. It's the opposite, right? There's more light on the outside than there is on the inside. So from the inside, you can see with filtered light pretty clearly,
Okay.
and from the outside, it's because it's darker on the inside, you can't really see. So it creates a cool experience on both the inside and the outside. And we worked well with Aaron on this one because this is his building, and
Is it?
Mike and him are both skateboarders.
Okay.
And so we actually used skateboard wheels on the tracks there.
That's
So
cool.
stance architecture is what
So a
you're-
little, a little bit different. That we're all about the tactile, what you can touch and feel. And when something works, when it's a mechanism, you're intended to touch it. And so when the contact points are polymers rather than metals, then it's like absorbs some of that shock, and it's a little bit different feel than if those were brass wheels. It's like metal on metal. So we like to explore that tactile nature of architecture.
It also makes it more functional,
Absolutely.
right?
It does. Yeah.
All right, what's next here?
Yeah, this is another stance project, actually. That's an aluminum gate that we designed for a brand new hinge system for it that gets embedded into the ground about 2.5 feet, and then it allows for a cantilevered opportunity. And we utilized torsion spring and machined the housings to hold bearings and function very smoothly as another self-closing, soft closing factor. It's very tunable. Probably, yeah.
I mean, this is the type of product that we love to sell, this end of fit and finish here on custom homes.
This was a lot of fun. It was a very challenging one, too.
So where it pivots, it is basically like a garage door spring. You know, those giant springs that you see above your garage door. Those are torsion springs, and the more coils you have, essentially, the less drastic the pull is with every rotation. So, by what Mike was saying, tunable. It's not like, you know, you're actually loading a spring and it's like, you know, it slaps really hard. Yeah. So I like exploring, you know, the like Hooke's law is the law, you know, engineering laws of elasticity and springs and compliant mechanisms and different things in nature use Hooke's law.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see it closes very softly.
It's very subtle.
It's probably very heavy.
And it doesn't even have a damper in it. We can do dampers too.
Okay.
But
yeah, you don't even need it.
It's great.
Yeah.
Luxury through engineering.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we like to wrap up with a couple rapid fire questions. Are you guys up for that?
Sure.
Okay. Early bird or night owl? We'll go with you first.
Oh, night owl.
Night owl?
Yeah.
Early bird.
Of course. Runner, cyclist.
Yeah.
Music while you work. If so, what's your favorite?
I like rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any genre?
No, it varies. I mean,
Okay.
kind of just got to go with the feel.
Okay.
I kind of explore everything.
Yeah.
Instrumental, hip hop, jazz, hip hop,
Oh. All of it.
like good flow stuff. Yeah.
All right. What about shop day or job site day?
Preference?
Yeah.
Winter time or summertime?
Right.
Good point.
Wintertime.
Metal in the summer.
Job site all day.
Summer.
Yeah.
Shop.
Okay.
That's great. CNC or hand tools?
Both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hand tools.
Yeah, I can see that about you. All right. What is one detail that a client might not even notice that you obsess over?
Wow, I just like populated a giant list.
Yeah.
And then zoomed out so far that I can't read it.
It's basically everything you do,
Someone
I
just
feel
spilled
like.
coffee
Well,
over
that's
my
kind of
paper.
that's both our strength and our weakness, right?
Yeah.
If we're
Yeah.
so detail oriented, it's like we just get caught up in the details, and sometimes we're missing the forest for the trees.
We're constantly trying to refine, and at some point, you know, you get pencils down and you can continue to. We had a conversation about this on the way here. Yeah.
Mike has different ones than me, which are sometimes are like, no way, we're in conflict with each other right now. Because I'm more, you know, holistic, don't intentionally make problems, but accept the problem. And he's like, at no cost will problems exist.
Let's resolve the problems as much as possible. And
So we've got type A, type B here.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Which is awesome.
Good combo.
Exactly. Well, it seems like you guys work great together. Your work is phenomenal. It's very cool, very different.
Appreciate it.
I think there are a lot of things in it that other people wouldn't notice unless you pointed it out sometimes, right?
And then they can't not notice.
Exactly. And then they can't unsee it and they're like, I want that. So we appreciate you joining us today. We're going to link all of your contact information in our show notes, but if you wouldn't mind telling our guests where they could find you.
Instagram at Circa, and then they can just our website shapecirca.com.
Awesome.
Great. All right. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
All right. That's it for today's episode of Modern Home Mastermind. If you've enjoyed the show, please subscribe, like, and leave us a review.
Thanks to our guests for sharing their insights and to you for learning about everything modern with us.
If you're ready to take the next step in your real estate journey, please reach out to us at beSpoke Real Estate. And until next time, keep living, loving everything modern.